What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, don't know if many people heard the interview done by Olympic silver medalist, undefeated 2-division world champion, former unified super featherweight WBC, WBO world champion, superstar boxer, Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson is 20 wins, no loss, no draw, 10 wins by way of knockout. 26 years of age. He is 5'8" with a 68-inch arm, southpaw. With that said, Shakur Stevenson did an interview with $1 million worth of game, Wallow and Gillie the Kid, right? And in this interview, Shakur Stevenson did with Wallow and Gillie the Kid, they brought up Terrence Bud Crawford. Okay, Terrence Crawford, who is undefeated, 3-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, and reigning undisputed welterweight world champion, who is widely acknowledged and recognized as the #1 best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, with a record of 40 wins, no loss, no draw, 31 wins by way of knockout. With that said, they brought up Terrence Crawford. And Gillie is self-proclaimed to be a boxing specialist, right? A boxing pundit. And Gillie says that when it comes to Terrence Bud Crawford, he ain't never fought nobody. So Shakur Stevenson was trying to combat that. And apparently, Terrence Crawford was present when this interview took place. Now, that can't be confirmed nor denied because you can't see Terrence Crawford. But apparently, Terrence Crawford was present. And Gillie says, Terrence Crawford ain't never fought nobody. He never fought nobody, right? This is what Gillie had to say. Let's listen to what Gillie had to say regarding this situation, right? He says, no, Terrence Crawford never fought nobody. That's all true. Until he fought Errol Spence, he hadn't ever fought anybody or beaten anybody. Let's listen to what Gillie had to say. Right? Because this is false.
Like, I feel like when they kept throwing it out there that he didn't fight nobody.
Well, he did.
I disagree with that.
Bro.
I disagree with that.
Why do people say that?
Is terrible.
Look, anybody you get in the ring with is a chance to lose. He didn't fight nobody that was on that level. That's what we saying.
No,
not he didn't fight nobody.
That don't mean
you can get in a ring with a C+ fighter, and if he clip you good enough, you can go to sleep.
No.
So he fought somebody.
No.
But come on, bro.
I think he fought people.
Julius and Dongo.
We can't. You named the worst person on the record.
So you heard Gillie say Julius and Dongo. Julius and Dongo was Terrence Crawford's last fight at junior welterweight, and it was for undisputed. Julius and Dongo had traveled and beaten 2 world champions for their titles and was the unified champion. And Julius and Dongo and Terrence Crawford fought for undisputed, and he knocked out Julius and Dongo. But Julius and Dongo worked to be in that position. But let's keep listening to this, shall we?
Victor Postal.
That's a bad name.
That ain't a.
During that time,
in order to say,
I'm saying during that time when he fought him,
he was overhyped.
He was overhyped. What?
So he says, Shakur says, Victor Postal. No, Gillie says Victor Postal. Gillie says Victor Postal was overhyped. Shakur Stevenson said at the time when Terrence Crawford fought Victor Postal, he was that dude. He said he was overhyped. Gillie said that he was overhyped. Victor Postal was not overhyped. Okay? Victor Postal was the boogeyman in the division. Right? He had beaten Lucas Matisse, and Danny Garcia didn't want to fight him. And they was claiming that Terrence Crawford didn't even want to fight Victor Postal, and Terrence Crawford told Bob Arum make the fight happen. Victor Postal was seen to be at that time in the junior welterweight division. He was like the Sergey Kovalev of the division. Victor Postal was that guy. After Terrence Crawford dispatched of Victor Postol, made easy work of him, dropped him twice and won and dominated the fight, then people started to say, well, Victor Postol never was proven. Victor Postol never did anything. Victor Postol did a lot leading up into that. He didn't beat a lot of big names, but Victor Postol was perceived as the boogeyman in the division. And here's why I have an issue when people say these types of things, because they don't realize, like Gillie doesn't realize, that he's indirectly disqualifying a fighter that represents his city and a fighter that's extremely talented and, in my opinion, a phenom, an undefeated welterweight superstar title contender, Jaron Boots Ennis, who is 31 wins, no loss and no draw, 28 wins by way of knockout, 26 years of age, 5'10" with a 74-inch arm reach. Jaron Boots Ennis has not beaten anybody of note, right, on that level, based off of what Gillie is trying to state, okay? Because he's saying that he beat good fighters, he didn't beat the highest level of fighters, right? So right now, people can say, okay, what has Jaron Ennis done? But we're calling for Terrence Crawford to face off against Jaron Boots Ennis. And Terrence Crawford is a 3-division champion, undisputed in 2 separate weight classes, became the first male to become undisputed in 2 separate weight classes. Historic events Terrence Crawford has accomplished. And we're calling for Terrence Crawford to fight Jaron Boots Ennis. So if Terrence Crawford fought and beat Jaron Boots Ennis, then people are going to say, well, he ain't fight and beat nobody, because what has Jaron Boots Ennis done? Like they're going to say, like Gillie is saying with Victor Postol. That's why this is not good for people to spew these types of conversations. But let's keep listening.
Victor Postol is like this. Oh, you know you talk to a boxer. Right?
Yeah, I'm a boxer too.
Victor Postol is like this.
So you heard Gillie say, you know you talking to a boxing mind, right? You know you talking to a boxing mind. And Shakur says, well, I'm paraphrasing with the words they use to describe their boxing, expertise. But Shakur responds by saying, you talking to one too, right? So you don't realize that you are...
A lot of people couldn't deal with that. A lot of people can't deal with that style. A lot of people can't deal with that style. Can't deal with that. Come on, a lot of people can't.
So Gillie is mocking and giving a demonstration of how Victor Postol's style is and how Victor Postol fights, and mimicking Victor Postol as to say Victor Postol is not doing something good. He's not a good fighter, right? And Shakur is saying a lot of people can't deal with that style. The Eastern European style, the Ukrainian style, Sergey Kovalev, Alexander Usyk, Victor Postol. Lomachenko slightly different from them, right? He has more of a slick style than they do. But a lot of people can't deal with that style, is what Shakur is telling him. And Gillie, who is self-proclaimed a boxing mind, is dismissing Victor Postol because he's not aware of how good Victor Postol is. He's viewing Victor Postol on the back end. Again, if you're going to use this as an example, okay, the problem with using Victor Postol as an example and discrediting his win over Victor Postol, the problem with that is that you are indirectly discrediting Jaron Boots Ennis. Because if you say that Victor Postol did nothing and Terrence Crawford beat Victor Postol, but Victor Postol was, never accomplished or done much in the sport, then you are doing the same thing to Jaron Boots Ennis. Because we are basing Jaron Boots Ennis' talent off of just that, his talent, his potential. When it comes to Terrence Crawford not, quote unquote, fighting anybody, it's because people don't do their homework. Again, like I said, with Victor Postol, people discredit his victory over Victor Postol because they don't know that he was the boogeyman to your fighter from your city, a guy that's a close friend of his, and Danny Garcia, who people were saying Danny Garcia was ducking Victor Postol and never fought that man. So with that said, he was the boogeyman. in the division, like Sergey Kovalev at light heavyweight. Nonetheless, then we talk about Yuriorkis Gamboa. Multi-division Olympic gold winners, world champion, pound-for-pound fighter when Terence Crawford fought Yuriorkis Gamboa. People automatically discredit Terence Crawford for beating Gamboa because they say Gamboa was too small. But Terence Crawford started his career at 130 and was fighting. He fought him at 135. So, yeah, Gamboa moved up in weight class, and in stature, he's shorter than Terence Crawford. But he was top 10 pound-for-pound best fighter, and he was undefeated when Terence Crawford beat him. People don't pay that no attention. Terence Crawford took and fought and beat British Prescott on short notice, and he was advised not to take the fight with British Prescott on short notice, and he dominated British Prescott. So you got to look at the history of Terence Crawford. They're not as notable names as the names like Errol Spence, Sean Porter, Kell Brook in the glamour division, which is the welterweight division. Just because they're not as notable don't mean that they're not good, period. Because if you think about it, Victor Postal put up a better fight than Errol Spence. Gamboa put up a better fight than Errol Spence. Igor Kavalauskas put up a better fight than Errol Spence. Hank Lundy, Hammering Hank Lundy put up a better fight than Errol Spence. So you got to take that into consideration. The name doesn't always equal quality, period. So let's see how the rematch goes and if Terence Crawford fights Jaron Boots Ennis. And who does he fight next? But that's all I got for y'all, man. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. It's disrespectful when we have these types of conversations without substance to it. It's disrespectful. You got to know who you're talking about and when you're talking about them, because the names don't always equal the quality. Like Floyd Mayweather always said, the toughest fight of his career was Emmanuel Augustus, Chop Chop Corley, and Zab Judah. Not Canelo Alvarez, not Manny Pacquiao, not Diego Corrales. Take that into consideration. That's all I got for y'all, man. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. So all I got for y'all, man. Peace.